Adults can't expect to cozy up to an activist movement that regularly calls for a friend's assassination, then assert their right to the former friend's love. Emma is rightly free to disagree with me and indeed to discuss her feelings about me in public. But I have the same right, and I've finally decided to exercise it. I mean, mic drop, Stuber Gear. She could not have said this more perfectly, better, more powerfully, or more in a more damaging way for Emma Watson. So did Daniel Radcliffe. He should not escape this either. He was just as disgusting to her. And you know those were the ones that burned. As J.K. Rowling was dealing with death threats and having to amp up her security to protect her family, those are the ones she was thinking about, because we wouldn't even know Emma Watson's name if it hadn't been for J.K. Rowling.
After J.K. Rowling's epic clapback, following years of being thrown under the bus by Emma Watson, the internet is on fire. And let's be honest, most people are cheering Rowling for finally putting Watson in her place. Leading the charge is Megyn Kelly, who never holds back when it comes to calling out woke nonsense. Her take was as explosive as ever. This showdown is pure cultural fireworks, and there's a lot to unpack. So buckle up, things are about to get fiery.
J.K. Rowling, after years of holding her tongue, years of just letting these brats run around attacking her, has finally shot back. And it is scathing, it is beautiful, and it is clearly written by someone who's made $1 billion plus.
Right from the start, Megyn Kelly made it clear. J.K. Rowling's takedown of Emma Watson was pure fire. Kelly highlighted that Rowling didn't tiptoe around the issue or soften her words. She went straight for the jugular. This wasn't a half-hearted response. It was a full-scale verbal assault. Only a master wordsmith with decades of success and millions of book sales could deliver such precise, cutting rhetoric. Rowling has always wielded language like a weapon, and this time she struck with surgical accuracy. Kelly admired the ferocity, noting that when Rowling attacks, she doesn't just speak. She leaves scorch marks that reverberate across the culture wars. Now, if you want to see what triggered Rowling's fiery response to Emma Watson, check out this clip.
I really don't believe that by having had that experience and holding the love and support and views that I have mean that I can't and don't treasure Joe and the person that I had personal experiences with. I will never believe that one negates the other.
Here's the context behind the clip you just saw. Emma Watson recently appeared on Jay Shet's podcast, discussing her life, career, relationships, and what lies ahead. Then came the moment everyone's talking about. J.K. Rowling's name came up. Instead of repeating the usual anti-Rowling talking points, Emma seemed to backtrack, almost apologizing for years of criticism. She said she still loved Rowling, and even called her a friend, but Rowling wasn't having it. In response, she delivered one of the sharpest, most searing verbal takedowns in recent memory. A fiery reminder that apologies mean little once betrayal has been done.
The irony here is that had Emma not decided in her most recent interview to declare that she loves and treasures me, a change of tack I suspect she's adopted because she's noticed full-throated condemnation of me is no longer quite as fashionable as it was.
J.K. Rowling can't be fooled, and that's what sets her apart. She sees the bigger picture. Wokeness is losing its grip, and many celebrities are now scrambling to align themselves with reality. Emma Watson's sudden change of tone could mean she's finally realizing the harm caused by blindly backing the trans agenda. Or it could simply be a calculated move to save face, now that pandering to woke slogans isn't trendy anymore. Whatever her true motives, we may never know. One thing, however, is undeniable. Rowling isn't impressed by half-hearted apologies or image-driven pivots. She can spot insincerity from a mile away, and she refuses to be fooled.
Can't expect to cozy up to an activist movement that regularly calls for a friend's assassination, then assert their right to the former friend's love. Emma is rightly free to disagree with me and indeed to discuss her feelings about me in public. But I have the same right, and I've finally decided to exercise it. I mean, mic drop, Stuber Gear. She could not have said this more perfectly, better, more powerfully, or more in a more damaging way for Emma Watson.
J.K. Rowling's latest statement was nothing short of legendary, bold, unflinching, and brimming with truth. Here's the reality. The woke mob doesn't get to control every opinion. Everyone has the right to speak their mind, and those voices deserve respect, even when they clash with the self-appointed arbiters of morality. Time and again, the woke crowd demands to be heard, preaching inclusivity and tolerance. Yet the moment someone disagrees, they lash out with fury and launch cancel campaigns. It's hypocrisy at its finest. Rowling cut through that double standard with surgical precision, reminding the world that free thought cannot, and will not, be dictated by an intolerant mob drunk on its own self-righteousness.
Favorite line, I wasn't a multimillionaire at 14. I lived in poverty while writing the book that made Emma famous. Oh, God, it's so effective. Yeah. It's so good. F this woman and her betrayal of J.K. Rowling. When J.K. Rowling needed a friend, when she could have used just silence. If Emma Watson disagreed so mightily, and by the way, I don't believe she did. I believe she went along with the woke mob, just like all these actors do. There's no way she actually believes a man can become a woman. It's scientifically proven he cannot. And so even just her silence would have been something, but she joined in.
Megyn is spot on. Emma Watson could have taken a high road, respected her relationship with J.K. Rowling, and stayed silent if she disagreed with her views. After all, Rowling was the one who gave her the role that launched her into global fame as Hermione Granger. Basic loyalty, or at least simple gratitude, would have meant keeping any criticisms private, but Watson didn't. Time and again, she took every chance to throw shots at Rowling, aligning herself with the woke mob and revealing where her true loyalties lay. Instead of defending, or even quietly respecting, the woman who helped shape her career, she publicly betrayed her. That's what hurts most. Rowling gave her everything, and in return, Watson chose pandering over principle. Megyn Kelly called it perfectly. Watson burned a bridge she never should have touched.
Daniel Radcliffe, he should not escape this either. He was just as disgusting to her. And you know those were the ones that burned. As J.K. Rowling was dealing with death threats and having to amp up her security to protect her family, those are the ones she was thinking about, because we wouldn't even know Emma Watson's name if it hadn't been for J.K. Rowling.
Megyn didn't stop with Emma Watson. She went after Daniel Radcliffe too. Radcliffe, after all, has repeatedly distanced himself from J.K. Rowling, tossing subtle jabs and even outright criticisms whenever the cultural spotlight turned. To Megyn, his behavior was just as inexcusable as Watson's. After all, Rowling is the creative force behind the world that made both Watson and Radcliffe household names. Without her imagination, there would be no Hermione, no Harry, and no multi-million-dollar franchise to launch them into fame. Yet Radcliffe chose the predictable path of pandering to the woke crowd instead of showing loyalty. Megyn didn't hold back. She reminded everyone that Rowling's success created the very stage Radcliffe stands on today. Her critique was sharp and unflinching, a blistering reminder that biting the hand that fed you is the height of ingratitude.
You must call out your dear friend out of obligation, or you're a bad person, or you somehow endorse every thought they have. Unless you publicly attack your friend, you're responsible for all that person's thoughts and opinions is absurd. And I will just say it goes on to this day. And it's wrong. It's deeply wrong. And shame on Emma Watson for bowing to the mob. Good for J.K. Rowling for calling her out. I am clearly on the...
Megyn didn't expect J.K. Rowling and Emma Watson to suddenly see eye to eye. She knew these were two very different women with fundamentally different mindsets. Rowling has always stood her ground, refusing to bend to political correctness, while Watson has often sided with the loudest voices in the woke crowd. That's why. To Megyn, Emma's sudden turnaround came across as deeply hypocritical. Publicly joining the mob to attack the very woman who helped launch her career, only to later claim she still admired Rowling and considered her a friend, was pure contradiction. Megyn called it exactly what it was, a desperate attempt to rewrite history and protect her image. Loyalty isn't something you discard when convenient, and pretending otherwise only makes the hypocrisy impossible to ignore.
When big mouths suddenly want to be reasonable. No wonder the ancient Greeks considered their profession even lower than telemarketers. But Rowling took that olive branch and used it to smack Emma upside her head. To her, Emma is only coming out because it isn't fashionable anymore. So she's changing her tune like a schizophrenic at karaoke.
Gutfeld is firmly in Rowling's corner and isn't buying Emma Watson's sudden change of tone. He doubts Watson's views on trans issues have actually shifted. Instead, he sees a broader cultural shift at play. Attacking anyone who disagrees with the trans movement is no longer the trend it once was. The mob mentality that used to be applauded is fading, and celebrities are starting to notice. T.O. Gutfeld. Watson's apology feels less like genuine reflection and more like strategic damage control. It's about optics, not principles. He argues that Emma is pandering to Rowling, trying to salvage her image now that the social tides are turning. In his view, this isn't reconciliation, it's opportunism. And Rowling, as sharp as ever, isn't about to be fooled by a Hollywood performance disguised as sincerity.
Rowling was smeared as anti-trans back when that was as unsafe as having unprotected sex with Hunter Biden. But JK stood her ground, while the cast of the franchise she created trashed her. Watson, Daniel Radcliffe, Ron Weasley. They all rode her coattails, making unimaginable wealth at a young age. And when Rowling could have used their support, they chose the mob instead. They had a chance to show the courage of the characters they played, but instead, they sided with the bad guy.
Anyway, credit where it's due. J.K. Rowling never backed down, never apologized, and never surrendered to the outrage machine. Despite being bombarded with attacks, threats, smears, and endless attempts to erase her from public life for daring to challenge the ideology around gender, she refused to fold. While most celebrities collapsed the second Twitter frowns at them, Rowling didn't budge, showing that conviction still matters in an era ruled by panic and social pressure. What makes the entire situation even more remarkable is how little it affected her success. Her books kept selling. The films kept earning. Her brand didn't die. If anything, the controversy amplified it. The mob tried to silence her, yet all they did was make her more relevant. Even if it came with a heavy emotional cost, through it all, Rowling has become a symbol of defiance, a public figure who chose principle over applause. To many people, she isn't just a best-selling author, but someone who stood up when it was easier and safer to stay quiet. And that's why this drama isn't really about Emma Watson stumbling through a shaky apology or pundits like Megyn Kelly and Gutfeld chiming in. It's about Rowling's refusal to bend. She proved that standing up for what you believe might cost you peace. And that wraps up today's video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more content like this.